right, welcome back, everybody. Everybody, listen to that. That's funny, but here we go. Saturday, late April. I think it's the 30th, 2022. Nice day. So we are just going to kind of roll around. Did get the Touratech GPS mount. Their locking GPS holder and a GPS. So I spent last evening, a little bit this morning, just kind of walking through that install. Pretty pleased with this so far. Visibility's great, its position's great. As a touch screen, it's an inch or two closer to me than the actual head unit, but given the fact that the GPS is there, I definitely could see just dropping the phone in the pocket. It's not going to get a lot of screen visibility, I guess, is a lot less of a concern with the GPS. A couple reasons, and at this point I've got the GPS mounted. I need to spend a little bit of time with the quick start guide and the instruction manual, but so far what I've done is paired the GPS, the Zumo XT, to my phone. So notifications come in on my phone and the GPS will display them, which I guess at that point the phone's necessity, or at least the phone's visibility, is greatly diminished. I've got maps handled, got notifications handled if I want or need to get them. So today we're just out kind of getting ready, testing the tires again, kind of getting a feel for the bike when it's not particularly loaded down with any gear, and then I'm going to start adding some gear to it in prep for an upcoming trip. Camera wise today, I'm rolling a new ND filter, a 32 stop ND filter from Camera Butter. So excited to see some of the footage for this. I had been recording quite a bit of footage this year, and a lot of it was just coming out kind of crappy, like enough to where you'd look at it and like, I don't really want to do anything with this. So I did go through just some different camera settings. I switched viewing angles and shutter speed, frame rate, and some ISO settings. So we'll see if those will have a positive effect as we're out cruising around today. My plan today is do a little bit of a mixed surface ride. I'm going to be riding the Pan America on some paved roads, and then we are also going to hit some fire roads, and just kind of continue to get our feet under us. A lot going on, new bike, newer bike, just riding off road, new tires, yada yada yada. So I think if I can find a decent area, I may try to practice some slow speed standing riding. I think that's a good skill to have. And then I may practice some turns as well. We're going to roll down to Highway 105 and just take a quick left and a quick right, and then we're going to hit kind of our warm-up gravel road. We'll do just a real quick loop on that. That'll connect over to 67, and then we'll head up to Jarre Canyon. Now, I am expecting a fair amount of traffic. It's Saturday, and given the day, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people out heading to Rampart Range Road, which is an OHV area, and it's, I think, relatively close to the metro. So people will be heading out there to enjoy. And we'll just shoot over here now. And away we go. Yeah, it is nice out. Oh, we got a horse on the road, so you know, with horses I'm just gonna ease way down and make sure they're good to pass. Last thing I want to do is see a rider thrown off. I may in fact just stop and let her go by. Just try to be somewhat predictable for the large four-legged beast. Am I okay to go? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a minute here. Yeah, it's one thing about horses, and I'm not a horse guy or horse expert, but trying to give them something to see that they're used to seeing. And I don't know about a motorcycle, so the last thing I want to see happen is a rider of a motorcycle or a horse or a bike or whatever get thrown. No one needs to deal with that on a beautiful day like today. She's out enjoying her day. I definitely spend a fair amount of time watching little YouTube videos on stuff that interests me, so I've watched a lot of wheelie how-to videos. Watched a couple this morning. One of these days I'll try it. I would love to. I mean, there's always those things that we want to learn. Wheeling appears to be a full commitment activity. You know, you can learn slowly up to a point, and then at some point you kind of have to commit to it. But looking at and or reading and or watching, I should say, a lot of the videos, especially the clutch up method, where you're heading 8 to 10 miles an hour and you're covering the rear brake with your boot for sure, and then you pull the clutch in, and at that point, wow, they're well on this side of the road. You pull the clutch in, you let the revs build, and dump the clutch. So I think you start warming that up, and as you warm that up, I couldn't tell if they were waving or not. As you warm that up, then you know you're going to get the front to pop off more and more, and hopefully build up a feel, I guess, for the bike, the weight of the bike. You're supposed to slide back in the seat. You need 2 fingers on the clutch, and the other 2 are gripping the handlebar. So I think at some point I'm going to have to give it a solid try. For sure looking forward to this ADV class and getting some good instruction on standing turns. It's like, what do you do? You know, are you moving your torso? Are you leaning the bike with the handlebars? Are you using your feet? So I'm certainly excited by that. And then in addition to that, it'd be great to have somebody give you real-time feedback. Hey, this looks good, this doesn't look good, you're doing this right or not. Well, I've got to be better about switching modes. I was in just standard road mode there, and I feel like I'm missing out on some of the programming, clearly, of the bike by not changing modes and not paying attention to that. Remembered sport mode though, didn't I? I think we all remember sport mode. though it's the middle of the day, you just can't trust mule deer. They'll be out wherever, whenever. So always good to have your head looking out. Still trying to get to the handle, or used to the handlebar risers. They're phenomenal standing. They're just absolutely golden for that. But boy, sitting, they're just up a little bit higher than what I would care for. Obviously a wild turkey. It's interesting to see it just hanging on the road like that though. You know, at first it was just like, is that a, yeah, it's a turkey, just right in the middle of the road, or right in the middle of their lane. It's a little bumpy right through here. You can see some pavement or asphalt that's been patched, replaced, and ripped up and patched in again. Surprisingly, given the day of the week and the time, I mean, it's the middle of the day, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen more people out, unless everybody had a bit of an earlier start. I had to get up and finish this install this morning for the GPS mount. And we are going to go right, but at this point I am going to activate off-road mode 1. So that's set, and we're just gonna cruise down this section of gravel. This isn't too terribly long. I think it's like 5 or 6 miles, so it's not bad. Maybe it's less. I feel like here, going left, heading south towards Deckers, and then getting out on Goose Creek Road. I haven't ridden that this year at all. Last year I rode it several times on my older ADV bike, which was, for those not aware, was a KTM 390 Adventure, tiny adventure bike, and it definitely afforded me the opportunity to kind of get used to and enjoy ADV riding. A little bit of a different vantage point here. A couple Canadian geese down there. So the Pan America, in addition to the adaptive ride height, which is to me just a phenomenal feature, it works incredibly well. And really what led me specifically to look at the Harley. I'm 5'10", but I've got shorter legs, and there are plenty of people out there that are super tall and riding taller bikes. It's just a non-issue. For me, it's definitely it's confidence, right? The idea that you can put your foot down, hopefully to support yourself and the bike and avoid an accident, or and by accident I guess avoid the bike dropping, especially the slow speed stuff. So with adaptive ride height, and it's got a a few different settings. There's 3 different settings, if memory serves me. So the first setting is as you slow. You get down to a few miles an hour, and then the bike really seamlessly drops down between 1 and 2 inches. And the other 2 modes are off, to where it doesn't drop down, and then the last one is you've stopped and then it drops down. So my particular setting is just as you slow, it drops down, and it's phenomenal. In addition to that, the seat has a couple of different positions. So it has a lower and an upper position, which I believe changes the ground to saddle measurement about an inch. And same with pegs to saddle. So I think from a longevity perspective on long rides, if you want a little bit of a straighter leg, having the saddle up a little bit more is a nice option to have. And it takes a minute or 2 to adjust that. You just stop, take off the rear seat, bump the front seat up, put the rear seat back on. So it's a pretty quick process, and away you go. All right, so we're coming up here on our left-hand turn. There it is. Well, there's a lot of cars and stuff right there. Let's switch over to off-road mode here. Yeah, it's definitely on the softer side here. But this is good for technique. I'm sitting right now, and I'm going to stand up here shortly. Get a little less torque. Second gear. You can see the road's kind of off camber the whole way up. It goes to the inside of the hill. Wow, okay, so we went through that glut of traffic, and boy, the road looks pretty wide open here, eh? Now there's a couple cars coming down. Big rock in the wall there. Beautiful. Beautiful. What a day. This is great. So this is the first time I've been out here in probably, well, certainly in 2022. First time I've been out here on the Pan Am. And we're gonna cruise this way, and just before we get to the Cheeseman Reservoir, there's a little bit of a descent to get down to the Cheeseman Reservoir. We're gonna hang more of a right and stick to Goose Creek Road. Ooh. Sit for a little bit and try to sit on the high side of the seat and push the bike in. There you can see Cheeseman Reservoir off to our left. GoPro probably makes it look like a dot, but it's down there. It is down there. I am a little surprised at how squirmy these tires feel. It just feels like what they feel like is if I turned around and looked, it feels like there should be a gigantic path in the road where my motorcycle tires cut through inches of gravel, but clearly that is not, it's not what we're seeing here at all. That's just how it feels. So I will remind myself to check into tire pressures. I do have my air compressor and fix-it kit with me, so I can always air down a little bit and then air back up. We're going to take a right here. Wigwam Trailhead. I have gone this way before. Again, not this year. This particular trail then will take us up through the Buffalo Creek wilderness area as well. So there's some neat little camping spots through here. All right, tire pressure readings 36, 37. Got a 500-pound bike here, and I'm swimming, 560-pound bike here, and I'm swimming around a little bit. So I may stop and reduce the pressure just a little bit. I don't, you know, I guess a good question is 2-3 psi, is that enough? I definitely don't want to damage the tires, but at the same time, I don't think I'm not going to be hitting any rock sections that are going to damage the rim. And that might be a good way to do a comparison. So let's see if I can find a good place. It's got some sight lines and pull over. That's it's gonna be a little too soft. Now we're at 26 front, 31 rear. That's probably 10 psi. That's about 2 psi a second. I gave it kind of a 5 count, so we'll see if this feels any different then. Kind of what I'm looking for is just it tracking better. I could see this getting tired, both physically and mentally, at least for me. You know, as you build up a certain, tolerance isn't the right word, but you kind of build up a certain amount of experience doing something, and you realize what's maybe normal or expected and what's not. You know, that just comes with time, experience. So for me at this point, I'm very much, hey, is this normal? Is it not? Oof, look at that, Pikes Peak. Don't know. I can't speak to that at all whatsoever. So all I can do is continue to ride, and hopefully not crash. Neat looking ranch over there. This is a little bit more just dirt here, which is kind of unusual for Colorado. Everything here is more decomposing granite, kitty litter. I'll take this wider line just to see if there's anything behind me. Or I should say in front of me, not behind me. get over here. And take this little rock pile. Definitely gonna have to add some air in these tires before we go with a little water crossing. And I guess we're just gonna go on this side right here. Okay. I think I put just a little bit too much weight on the front end there, and it started to kind of dig in a little bit, but all's good, or should I say Rawls good, the Moto Z Rawls. Okay, we're coming up to Wellington Lake. I'm gonna say this is a private reservoir, and there's camping around it. Definitely feel a little bit of a breeze once we get out from the tree cover. I've always wondered, does that mean no shooting, comma, hunting allowed, or no shooting or hunting allowed? The way that's written down, it just is very, it's a bit vague, isn't it? No shooting, hunting allowed. A little maintenance throttle.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That's going to pretty much do it for this ride. This was the end of April 2022, right at 4:30. Started in Castle Rock and headed west from there, kind of up into the foothills, out Highway 67 or Jarre Canyon. Picked up the South Platte River Road from there and headed south down to Deckers. Ended up picking up the fire road that would lead out to Cheeseman Canyon, and then tying that onto a couple of additional roads that would go up to the Buffalo Creek Wilderness area, and then basically back home. As you can see, Colorado's got some great riding. If you get an opportunity to visit the state, highly recommend it. Thanks again. Ride safe.